Oh,
Hey,
oh,
Thank you,
that's right. I
computer
have
lady.
0 hit points.
You do?
How did you land at
Sarcasm.
0?
it's because he's made of tissue and
Yeah,
paper and
she's made of
sadness.
tissue and sadness.
But I'm at full health.
I
Yeah.
was being sarcastic.
Oh.
I have a total of 17 hit points. At this
Oh.
level, that is nothing.
Tissue paper and sadness. Got it.
Yeah. Whereas the last character I played has 2 below maximum for the game.
Nice.
Granted, I hurt myself with half my moves, but I'm willing to take that.
Hurt myself today.
Okay, so it's been a minute since we did all this. Made it to Lithia at last. After some initial arrangements, y'all have been moving around in Bend, looking for various things, including acceptable methodology to get across to the city proper, and then finding your new place and discovering whether or not that's going to be your base of operations, and if it is, how long that may last. Part of your planning revolves around a young runner that you had met and I believe hired.
Yes.
I don't remember the fee on that one, but I'm
5
sure
gold pieces a week.
Five gold pieces a week.
More than he's currently employed for.
Yes.
Which
By
is
a
the important
substantial
part.
margin.
Which is the important part of that deal.
his name is Tordan, Tordan.
Tordan.
And he does explain that normally he works for an individual named Mouse. Mouse, through further discussion as you chit-chat with him, runs a small business called Acquisitions Incorporated.
Oh, look at that! It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite expansions.
Go on.
It's a great model. We all gotta love it.
You had. I'm trying to remember. You had made a certain number of arrangements, and basically we had reached a point where you were like, okay, how do we get to where we're going?
Yeah, basically we have to get the appropriate clothing. I know there was a subset of us at least that was going to get the appropriate boots and other type of clothing to be able to fit in better and not look like the freakish people we are.
Correct.
Also, continue. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I didn't realize that some of us were fucking loaded at this point.
So
please carry
on. There are some essentials, if you will, in this area. One of the things that you notice as you're sort of hunting around all the various little places, and you see there's a notable difference between the caravan folk, the teamsters, all of those people on the Bend on the land side, and anyone that is Lithian. One of the things that you notice about that in particular is that they tend to wear, the Lithians tend to wear what look vaguely to the modern eye like capris. And if they're wearing footwear, it tends to be much more movable, supple. It is not like you do not see any Lithian wearing hard sole boots. They all have a certain amount of give to them, whether they're low level, whether they're mid-rise, or whether they go all the way to the knee. And you've seen a couple when they go all the way to the knee that have serious decoration right around the top. Tassels, danglies, bells.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
So that's one of those little fashion things you're like, wow, they are very focused on their footwear.
So
And
kinda
that
gonna
is
be at these-
that's just
And that-
one of those like subtle differences that you're like, that's weird.
All right, gotta get out of these boots.
And that's part of the reason we were gonna have Tordan help us to go procure that and any appropriate garb.
Yes.
So
Mm.
let's see, because I knew this was going to be a shopping thing, so I grabbed a bunch of notes on that sort of thing. And you can, for about 10 silver pieces, outfit yourself with a new outfit that's clean, doesn't have big scorch marks or holes, puncture areas, things like that,
I think it just gives our outfits character.
blood stains.
Character. And
Mhm.
former characters.
Land shark.
I do indeed have lots of land shark bits on me.
Wait 1 second, I forgot to grab a pencil.
So
You should have made a
question,
necklace out of its teeth.
yeah, question for the DM, do they have anything that would pass as appropriate drape similar to what I'm wearing? AKA it doesn't have to go to the ground, but it looks more dressy and then I can wear the capris underneath.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll pass.
Oh, absolutely. They have like tabards and poncho style, and
Yeah, so I'd be going basically a knee length version of what I'm wearing right now is what I'm looking for.
absolutely. And you have seen here in Bend, you have seen more racial variety
Mm-hmm.
than any place across the entire Azinthian Plains.
Right. So I figured
Rockvale,
half orc doesn't scare me, but being out of fashion does, which is why I'm asking. I
right?
like to look like this. I feel comfortable like this. How close can I get to that? Or do I have to go out of form?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
That they get it, and I mean, you came all the way up around the top, and you saw nothing like what you see here. This place is variety pack.
Yep.
Question.
Yes.
As a dwarf, are my capris basically like cargo shorts?
Pretty
Judo
much.
pants.
We're asking the important critical questions.
Okay. Making
Very
sure.
important for fashion.
And your cheese slugs are just the way you like them, crispy on the outside, soupy in the middle.
Nice.
So it's 10 silver to
For
the
you,
outfit makeover.
honestly, you would probably go a gold and get. You'd be like, really, the 10 silver version? You'd probably upgrade.
Well, probably.
And I likely would just because I figure half orc, let's at least show I've got, the ability to extend the pinky when I drink my tea. Right.
Like I missed something important when I was out.
So
You did. We mocked you.
Mercilessly.
You took 42 points of tissue paper damage.
Then I'm dead. Goodbye.
That's not counting the emotional damage, though.
Doesn't matter. The 42 is over double my hit points.
Yeah, but that's okay. He unpacked his baggage and healed up.
And this is why it's taken us 6 months.
Don't
to
worry,
get here.
I'll unpack your baggage when you die. It's okay.
Wow.
So, Elsbeth, do me a favor.
Yeah.
When you pull yourself up off the floor.
Give me a charisma roll.
Flat charisma, persuasion. What am I looking at?
Something vaguely social. Persuasion will work, I guess.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm good at persuasion, so sure. 15.
Okay. You're dealing with this clothier, and you're kind of, given your background, you're like, I don't know, and you're like this on the material, and you're kind of like, what color, and like you've gone through this before, like the whole, if I need to dress, I need to get changed, I need to what, and as you have the conversation with the shopkeeper's like, we'll get you something here. But what you really need to do is you really need to go over to Rainbow Row.
Rainbow Row.
Rainbow Row.
That's been
Rainbow Row, it's out in basically it's just this side of the Temple District. You can't miss it. The buildings look like a rainbow. All of the fashion folk are there. That's where you should get an outfit.
Okay, then. Is that I'm trying to recreate the map in my head.
Yeah.
That's on this side of the bridge or the other side of the bridge? I don't remember.
All on the other side of the bridge.
Okay.
Oh, lovely.
So let's see if we can do that.
Yep.
Yep.
Huzzah!
Ooh, that's even better. I appreciate the references.
So you all are in Bend.
Bend.
Essentially, all the commerce comes in, scoops around, heads out. The Alimentari district here is essentially warehouses. There's a lot of this is a lot of combination of industry and shipping and trade goods, sort of. That's this area. This is the land bridge coming across.
Hmm.
We're not crossing the land bridge.
No.
No, because that's where they draft people into the service and beat them with tack sticks.
They
Well,
conscript you.
the land gate is this end of the bridge right here.
Mhm.
So
The Dosadoro district, you get a lot of cross shipping, but then you get a lot of mercantile kind of stuff in here, which sort of at the edges, it mixes into the purple district right here.
oh,
Zona Feste.
and
That is
our house was in District 5, correct?
correct.
Yes.
Not far from the party district.
Yay.
Which is the purple right there in the middle.
Oh no.
Essentially, Benestante, these are the rich folk out here.
Hmm.
This is the Sacred Grove in the Golden Circle.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Just the other side of the party district would be the Temple district.
That makes sense.
And then there's essentially Castello and Difensori. These are defense areas. So heavy military presence, heavy Navy presence. There's a wall out here towards the end. This is where the shipping comes in and out and works its way around.
All right.
And your house is in area 5 in here.
Did we buy a boat last time?
No.
Or did we hire a boat?
It was tops
No.
on my list to get, but we had not made it that far yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we our plan was to go make friends with somebody who either could sell us a boat or wouldn't mind floating us over to 5,
Gotcha.
so we could explicitly avoid the land bridge.
Yeah.
And you do notice the land bridge itself it's a lot of the heavy traffic, right? It's wagons, it's goods that don't float well,
Yeah.
metal,
Mhm.
stuff like that. So I'm gonna presume that everybody gets a new outfit.
I'll buy one. I'm not gonna wear one quite yet.
Well, Thea didn't get the shoes because she's still rocking barefoot.
Okay. Do you intend to keep the chain?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to do that?
I mean, I was going to continue walking like I have been.
Right, but I'm saying right now with the barefoot thing, the chain is around your bare ankle and it touches the ground. If you put on a boot,
And that's why I
she
said I
said-
wasn't getting
He
boots.
wasn't putting them on.
She said no boots for
Oh,
her.
no
She
I was getting an
remained
outfit,
barefoot.
new clean outfit, but I wasn't doing boots.
I thought you said you were getting boots. My bad. Sorry.
Nope.
Okay. So Tordan is like, he meets back up with you after you've done your sort of quick shopping routine.
Mhm.
He says, we may be able to get across in one. He kind of glances at Yadu and is like, probably one. It's a little sketchy. Things kind of wobble. How are you all with swimming?
I can swim fine.
Thea can't swim. We tried that last time and I had to get fished out.
So you want to stay low and steady in the middle of the boat when we get in, because none of us want to swim. This is going to be a heavy trip. But if you want, I can get us all across on a boat. It's going to be 5 coppers each.
That's it.
Alright.
Okay.
So, can I get a reminder of where we put all of the loot? Did we stash that in the bank or
In my
Yes.
bag of holding.
Thea's pocket.
Yep.
it's in the bag of holding? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
which-
got some in my pocket too.
Yeah.
Might it be a good idea to rent a warehouse to stash some of the other things we have so we're not
I figure we're gonna end up stashing a lot of this at the place we are currently
Our
going
domicile. Yeah.
to. Because right now the only things that are really big and all of it still fits in the bag of holding are like the 6 I completely just lost where I had
Bolts of cloth.
yeah, the things of cloth, which
Oh yeah.
Didn't we have
Figure.
ingots?
Yes, which is where the 3,200 gold worth is currently sitting in my bag of holding.
Yeah,
Yes.
it still fits. It's just like,
Yeah.
Heavy. You are all
Yeah.
heavy.
well, the back of holding isn't, but
Yeah, not for the bag of holding, because that doesn't once it goes in there, the weight is like
Extra dimensionally buoyant.
yes.
Heavy man.
But not enough that I am worried about us toppling over because of the bag of holding. Thea's pockets, on the other hand, are a different story.
Don't give me that juju. I am perfectly fine.
Thea's pockets are always a problem.
There is no
especially the
problem.
hands that goes into them.
Mostly it's the hands that go into them
My hands are perfectly fine.
until they
Thank
get
you for your
stabbed
concern.
again.
So if you're willing,
Yes.
he leads you down and everybody jumbles into this boat. You're taking off from right around in here.
Okay.
The boat master, with the 2 oarsmen in the back, spends a lot of time complaining about how heavy this load is.
I will, when we get in, I will pay the 3 silver to cover all of us and then some.
But he does, and it takes a while to row across here. I mean, it's choppy. There's a ton of boat traffic here. They are doing a lot of commerce. There's a lot of folks out here on the water. He gets you across, and actually, rather than coming in at the bigger docks where some of the bigger ships are, he sneaks down into the side nearest the land bridge here. And there's a neat little tuck up spot right there that he lets you out at. It's actually, from your point of view, significantly more convenient than some of the other places all around the other side. It's really good, and there's some nice stone steps up to a causeway that heads out between a couple of canals.
Andy.
You pop out, and I presume you're going to go look for your place, or what's next?
Next should be our house.
It should be absolutely finding this house we were granted.
Yeah.
Oh wait, the other thing Tordan was supposed to do was find us a place where we can crush some gemstones. Did he give us that answer? Is that in Rainbow Row?
So Rainbow Row, as soon as you mentioned that to him, he goes, oh, there, okay.
Feel free to expand.
Yeah, is something wrong?
This I don't remember if there's an equivalent to sense motive.
Insight.
Insight. There you go. Somebody give me an insight roll.
I'll do
Yeah, because I got a 1.
He is like, what?
That is a 17.
I can find my.
You kind of get the feeling like it's that whole thing of like, if I said to you, it has to be a Louis Vuitton bag. Right? You know, that's like you'd go, really? But it sort of, you just sort of get that sense, like he's like, okay, if you really want to go there, but you're gonna dress like that? You sure? Says the person who's wearing no shoes, short pants, and a plain brown shirt with stains on it. So, you know, fashion advice where you will.
Is there a problem?
I suppose if you want to dress like that, go right ahead.
Would you like to dress like that, Tordan?
No.
How would you dress, Tordan?
Nothing wrong with how I am here.
If
Blend
we
right
were
in.
supposed to go to where we need to go to get this handled,
Who?
how should someone dress if we wanted to go get these gems handled? Since that seems to be important here.
Oh, that's right. The gem thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you probably want to go there.
Where is there? Let's start with that.
Rainbow Row is over on the other side of the Zona Feste, and they are all about high fashion. Why can I not find that picture? I have a picture of it, and now I can't come up with it.
So
It's upsetting me.
This is the sort of place where if you don't meet the dress code, they'll turn you back at the door.
You'll see.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, silly me. I was looking for a color picture, and I don't have a color picture. I sketched it.
Because it's like
all
sensor
blurry.
blurs. It like sensor blurs your sketches. Spicy drawings, huh? All right.
So essentially, Tordan leads you down here. Excuse me. Essentially, along the same path. You spend a fair amount of time figuring out how to get up over bridges, archways that go up over canals. You see a lot of what amount to gondolas going all sorts of different directions through here, making your way on foot. He has a knack for finding the right path, and he brings you through through one portion of the party district, essentially down along the water over here. And you are walking for a while. As you get there, you see it looks like row homes along a wide stone path that's right at the edge of the water. And those buildings are basically rainbow colors. This is like high fashion zone. Everybody here is dressed up. There is nobody here who looks like your guide.
On our way while we were walking to Rainbow Row.
Well, I thought we were stopping at our house first, but
oh, were we?
You didn't.
What are we doing?
No, we're
you went
in
straight.
Rainbow Row.
You went straight to Rainbow Row.
Yep.
Okay, so then while on our way to Rainbow Row, did keep wanting to call him Turtle. Tordan.
You can call him Turtle. That's fine.
Okay, Turtle. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, did he like nod or like was he cluing into anybody that we may have been passing?
Give me a 20-sider investigate. Let's call it that.
Oh.
Investigative perception. One of the two.
Perception. Go with perception.
Oh, even better. 25.
Woo! You were watching him pretty closely, and you saw no signs of him like waving, making motions, giving signals of any kind. You did see that he was paying sharp attention to everything around him. And as he was moving, you clearly noticed he took the easiest path that you like. There were a couple of times where the path could have split, and he's like, no, this way. And it was always the faster route.
Okay.
He knows what he's doing. I like
We're
him.
in his favored terrain.
Yeah, he was moving through there at a pretty easy pace, and you got through very quickly. There were a couple of times where you looked like one or two canals over, and there's crowds, and there's a bunch of people in the way, and the bridge is full, and he avoided all of that.
Does it at all seem as though he's trying to avoid people along the way? Like maybe people he's worked with?
No, it doesn't seem that way. Honestly, it doesn't seem that way at all.
Okay.
I think it is just this is the fastest route.
He's worth his pay.
Sorry, I was looking for it. It bothers me now that I can't find that stupid picture.
Something I would be keeping an eye on in general. I know Lithia and Trokal don't get along. I don't think they're actively in a state of war.
You are correct. They are not.
I know military action has started on the other side of Azenthian Azinth or whatever we call.
The Zinthians are at war all the way on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
In
And
the
there's no
opposite
sign of
direction
that
where we came from.
affecting out here yet.
Correct. Not here yet.
I don't like the yet on the end of that, but you know.
It's going to affect a market this big. The big question is going to be, is this going to reignite tensions between Lithia and Trokal or not? Or is Trokal simply going to, or Lithia going to try and get in on the merchant action? Because they're both major shipping powers.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. Either option is entirely possible.
Sorry, I'll put the map back up. I was hunting for a thing.
You're good.
And I did not find that thing. So it made me sad.
Okay. So we're now in Rainbow Road.
Yeah, so there are high fashion looking folk all about. And for the first time, Elspeth's hair does not stand out at all.
Oh, thank God.
There are styles, there are cuts, there are all sorts of fancy. You're just like, why would you wear that on a normal day? But there it is. And then the other question. So Tordan's like, look, if you want to shop here, you go right ahead. I need to go make a couple of inquiries to see if I can get you what you need, the gem thing.
Okay. What's on your mind?
I'm just contemplating Yadu's new outfit.
Wasn't loading on my phone. Let me try.
Make a
I'm
statement.
kind of feeling like I need to check and see if he's got any cookies.
That's what your new sign should be. Check for cookies.
Check for cookies.
Nice.
You are looking rather fashionable.
I told you I spent the gold piece. I wanted.
Yeah, I would have spent a gold too, if only for to have something.
Well, you're about to spend a gold. You spent the minimum to get across here, and basically you bought disposable clothes that you're going to upgrade here.
Yeah.
I meanwhile went for the. I must be somebody important because nobody that's poor would ever wear this shit.
Well,
very nice.
Are these pictures being sent somewhere? Because I can't see
character information tab.
Yeah, character information on Discord.
Took me a second to find it too. What the hell? It's like a fairy tale gone wrong.
Go big or go home, bitches.
Yeah.
In a place where you want to stand out, I'm standing out for not being a half orc. I'm standing out for being a fashion nightmare. That's urban camouflage.
Well, it's standing on patch of snow, but it is camouflage.
Yeah.
On some level.
I applaud your ability to find a picture.
Oh, I made it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
even
just
better.
a Hero Forge.
Yeah, that's
a
Hero
Forge tweak.
Yeah, I have Yadu in Hero Forge. That's where the picture came from that's behind me.
Oh, that's
I just went in with that with the bases and just changed all the clothing. Put on a nice floppy hat instead of a cowl and gave myself, Thavish like draping.
It's a floppy hat. I wouldn't call it a nice floppy hat.
Oh, it's a very nice floppy hat. And
that's
pumpkin
amazing.
orange,
Oh.
Beautiful.
There's a reason that I dress in black.
I will need to make wisdom saves to not just constantly fucking burst out laughing looking at Iadu.
Well, and I thought our guide was already doing so I figured I'd lean into it.
Our guide is very well paid, but not paid enough to not make cracks at us.
This is true.
Yeah.
I bought the clothes. I'm not wearing the clothes, and now I'm suddenly very glad that I'm not wearing the clothes.
You know what's really funny, Holden? People are gonna look
Uh,
at you like you're a freak more than Yadu.
why would I give a shit what worm food is gonna look at me as?
Worm food.
The only difference between them and the people we've actively killed is these people are more nicely dressed.
Well, these people are still breathing.
Well, that's debatable
true.
because I do got some nice clergy robes.
You do indeed have some very nice clergy robes.
All right, so I guess I'm getting a makeover.
By all means, let's do this montage. It's been a while since I've had a game where we're allowed to do stupid shit.
That is true.
Shopping.
Yes,
You can always do stupid shit. It's just the consequences of those actions.
It's been a
So
while
how's
since
the security in these shops?
Oh my
God.
God, not yet.
True to form.
Yeah.
setting a new land speed record for being on the lam.
How's about we just wait until we get back to our place before you start fleecing the entire
Yeah.
city?
District.
As much as I am all for
I was just asking for our safety, nothing more.
Yeah, sure. And I'm Frank Sinatra.
Oh, serenade me, please.
please don't.
Oh,
that's
very
actually
nice.
Very pretty.
Oh,
That was
like.
that was the inspiration. Imagine this
But bougie.
plus decoration. Yes, bougie. Very bougie.
I love it. That's
Little
great.
little cafe tables out in front of some of them. All that.
so how much does this feel like home?
Actually, it sort of gives you a weird, you're like, well, this is kind of a weird vibe because this is not underground.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because the city of Trokal has a huge amount of their actual city is built into the cliffs inside the bay. And the very wealthiest of the folks that live there tend to be in the caves right along the caves
Yeah.
right along the front edge with views out into the water, and they're all painted like that, but it's also got gem work, and
Yeah.
there's a huge amount of, there's a vein in the rock kind of thing that's part of the decor. So you're like, this is weird. There's no roof over there.
I think Elspeth is instinctively looking up and going, "Oh, right."
But you know these people. Security isn't really the question here because all of this is bespoke. You make everything custom. We don't sell things off the rack. Simply isn't done.
It's too gauche.
And it's all credit, banknotes. I mean, there's no actual money except in the jewelry. And that is, some of it you look at and you go, oh, okay. If you do want to wear that, you can. That is a choice. You've clearly made it. So you feel free to dig in, do whatever shopping. If you lay out some serious gold, you will come down with an entire set of outfits very easily. And you will also become quite popular.
How much gold are we talking? Just so I have a mental reference.
How bougie do you want to get?
Here's the thing. I don't want to get bougie. I want comfortable. I want expensive and classy, but not over the top. And my reasoning to the shopkeepers is, I'm going to be moving around, through all sorts of places. So I feel like it's better in a negotiative sense to feel just down a couple rocks.
You find one of the shop owners who says, "Business. It's terrible. We have to do it. I know just what you need." So if you lay out like 40, 50 gold, you will have top of the line, like 4 outfits, like top fashion for this area, and they will know who you are.
What do you have in tactical?
Yes, the dwarf comes in asking, "What do you have in concealed carry?"
I'm suddenly
I really-
reminded of that scene in John Wick 2. Where
Yes.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
discerns.
I'm imagining like Elsbeth is just running around between like with these different tailors and seamstresses. Meanwhile, like the rest of us are standing outside looking like a bunch of raggedy mutts just staring in through the window.
Except for me, who just looks like an eyesore.
You still look better than the others
You
comparatively.
fit in so much better.
Oh yes,
I mean,
yes,
yeah.
I look like a local eyesore, but an eyesore
Yes.
nonetheless, which is what I was
Yes.
going for.
You have what is it? Something couture.
Haute
Haute.
couture.
Something couture. Yes.
Mumble, 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 poof.
Mumble. Where's my what spells do I have to help me here?
So there are a couple of different things they're looking through for you. You get that look a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure I do.
Something to keep in mind. I do plan on visiting the wizard schools. If that affects how you think this will look. I do wanna...
Those uniforms are so tacky. Don't dress like them. Especially not the physical ones. Terrible. The lot.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said. The what
The
ones?
physical ones.
The
The
physical
physical
ones. Essentially, the school's name is Spirit of Power.
Ah.
And you get the full description of just like, they're so terrible. There's harnesses and skirt things and hard boots. Terrible. And then realizes, having said that, looks at the dwarf and goes, "No offense."
I also think this is the first time you guys have seen Elspeth she just slides into the environment. She's not necessarily agreeing with everything that's being said, but she's passing it off.
Yeah,
Like
it's the first time you're not like a fish out of water. It's almost refreshing if it weren't so concerning.
So one of the things that the various folks in various shops will go over with you is the material itself for the boots and gloves is sort of a big deal.
Mhm.
And they have various skin type gloves that have and boots with the soft sole that have various level of grip. And as you were headed here, you stayed high and dry, but you did notice that there are a lot of places where you would get wet if you were going that's you start to see, you're like, oh, that's why everyone wears their pants up around their knees. Because there are a bunch of places where you kind of have to go through water in some form or fashion, or step into a boat and there's a chance that you get wet, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Oh, we're in fantasy Venice. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's in high waters.
Yes, that is exactly it. So with your expenditures, you actually get this pair of Elsbeth gets this pair of sharkskin boots that are super fashionable, and as you put them on, you're like, oh, I get it. The grip.
Yeah.
The bottom of this is really nice. And the rest of you are like, oh God, this is going to go all afternoon, isn't it? And it
Those
does.
gloves, do they have any good grips?
Which what?
The gloves?
Oh, they have all sorts of them. Now, nothing as terrible as what the guardsmen wear. Those are awful.
I will look around the shop from the outside because clearly I'm not going to walk into this place. I have a question. Do I see spools of fabric anywhere? Because you said this was a place that made custom clothing.
Oh,
And I happen to have 6 spools of very, very fine linen that I would like to offload sooner rather than later.
oh, that sounds like a persuasion thing if you find someone to talk to. Because all of that, I believe, was deep red.
A very deep red linen.
If you're willing to wait, once I'm done the montage, we get set up, I can help with that.
It's not like it's weighing me down, but
Yeah.
They're very much about the appearance. You don't see the working aspects in the back. This is all an appearance thing. So as they're working, there are places they're like, go sit, we'll have a little drink while we get these things together, which Elsbeth is just like on it. The etiquette thing just rolls.
It's a reflex. It really is. As much as she hated being stuck in the house, this is all stuff that's been just ingrained in her since birth.
So for the rest of us who are not engaged in tea time, we're just sitting outside.
Well, so Thea, there are variations on gloves, and do a persuasion roll for me with ye old charisma to see if you could fit in the whole etiquette thing and talk your way around what you want your gloves to do.
Let's see. You said for persuasion. I have an 18.
Ooh, nice.
So you take some time and you kind of work around what sort of gloves, what are you looking for? Because they do have some that are very thin and have really, you're like, oh, that's a pretty good grip. So if that's, I don't know. I don't know what kind of material that would be.
I don't care what material it is. I just want the outcome.
Okay.
Something to help with fine dexterous actions.
Yes.
But still protect your hands.
Yes.
Okay. Gloves.
Something that a fine pianist that works at speed might wear.
I was more concerned about her constantly getting stabbed in the hands, but it wasn't her finger work that needed help. It was the constantly getting stabbed by needles.
Hey.
Nothing stopping that.
Well, if that slips out in conversation, you hear, well, I have just the idea.
Oh, do tell.
This is your moment. And this particular person goes all out for an outfit for you. It is upscale fisherman's wife.
Do I look like a fisherman to you?
This outfit that they put you in is the height of fashion with this bizarro apron on the front with fringe, but the gloves they're super thin and super light, but they have this thin thin chain scale kind of. It's really hard to describe.
It's almost like fish
Because
scales.
Like shark skin.
like shark skin, but it's something a little off because they've seen the people at the open air fish market that wear chain gloves so they don't cut their freaking fingers off while they're filleting. But this is all fashion level stuff. She wants
Thea's
to get
gonna like hold her hands up and look at her outfit and just have this look of just
it's a
It
split on
looks
either side.
perfect.
It's a skirt split on either side with this big apron thing. It's got a blousy kind of shirt and the other thing. This is very much like if you're going to a party, get a mask. So she has a mask that goes with it that has one big swoop out the side, and the gloves. And it
Outside, Azathan is simply dying. You look great. That looks wonderful.
But
careful. I will light you on fire.
It would be worth it.
I have a question.
Like,
How much of this has Elspeth seen?
oh, all of it. I'm just Azathan is like standing like from the window over to the door to like talk into this boutique. And he's just watching.
This is so good that he's now shit talking. He stuck his head into shit talking.
I know, and I'm about
This
to make
is
him pay
like-
for it because I'm
this
going to
is
catch one of the staffers, point at Azthan, and go something natureful for this gentleman. He's been dying for good outfit, but he's too embarrassed to.
Oh, listen, I want you to understand. No. This is just
You're in my court now.
yeah, and he's
staffer,
just
you see the staffer's fingers like
you know what? Fine. Let's see what happens.
tell me
And
about
she
your
just-
interest.
Elspeth just winks at you as you're dragged by.
No, there is no dragging. This is, let's just see what happens. I want you to imagine in this bougie existence in boutique place, is this dude with, there's holes and there's blood and like complete fucking dirt mess druid who lives in caves, just kind of wanders in, not even sachets, but just as a like poor mockery of everything going on. All right, do your worst.
Well, if that's the case, then we need to get Dundon involved.
I
And
was
I
just
just-
helping
and
Thea
I-
out with a little revenge.
I just put it in the chat.
Yeah, he's got
Dun-
me. He's got me quite the dandy outfit.
Dundon's new clothes.
We need it.
I liked it, kind of swashbucklery.
Great. It seemed as concealed carry as I could come up with.
I love it. We need it. That needs to have happened yesterday. That's how badly we need
That's
this.
very nautical of you.
Yes,
Yes.
you're in a seaside town.
For
I
a
mean, to
mountain
be fair,
dwarf,
he's still
this is
gonna
an
keep the
interesting
boots
look.
of dwarven kind, but
Yes. But it's comfortable.
True.
all right. So nature-y.
Deep nature. A lot of darker tones if possible.
Deep greens, moss.
I swear, if you make me redo Azathan's model for this,
Oh no, I will. It'll be okay.
I'm.
Yes, I wink at Azvan and I wink at Thea. It's just like
I don't know what you think you've done.
The group photo on this is going to be hilarious.
By the
Yeah.
by the end of this, you probably this is the subtlety of it.
Mhm.
As a crowd, you've probably dropped between 70 and 100 gold, somewhere in that
Mhm.
range, to get everyone these couture, this fancy put together pieces. Through discussion, your Azathan is being grumbly, and she goes, "Grumpy nightcap. I'll be right back."
Oh dear.
Oh,
So your hat is going to
Mhm.
look a lot like that cap of that mushroom in the background of your picture.
Oh yes, it
It's
must.
going to have
Frill.
little frill that holds the brim out,
Oh, this is
Mhm.
gorgeous.
and a drapey sort of deep purple with brown trim. Oh, absolutely. You are basically going to look like a frickin' mushroom.
It's gonna look like a myconoid.
Yep.
All right, I'm hoping I can make something that looks like.
With like elbow length gloves, like big leather, but very soft leather, not like hard like you do work with it. Soft
Mhm.
leather, elbow length, and drapey. Yeah, you're gonna look like a mushroom, but very fashionable. They'll even throw in a little mask for you in
A
case you go to a party.
fashionable mushroom.
Oh, a mask, you say?
Yeah, for a good party. Yeah, it's also a lead over. As much as this was mostly a joke, if we have to go to a formal event with a masquerade, this is going to be baller.
You will all fit.
You will
right
thank me later
in.
if we have to go to something formal.
Anywhere in the party district, if there's a party going on, you will now fit in.
All right, so I'm updating a model as it goes along. Please don't mind me.
So you've done all of that. You spend the rest of the day. Tordan is he's like, oh, really?
You're getting
Fine.
paid.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
I was
Actually,
gonna say, can we like make him
No,
dressy?
if he doesn't
No.
want it, I will not. We will
Yeah,
not
yeah,
force that on
we
him.
need him to be able to skulk where he needs to skulk. He'll know if he needs something.
Yeah. You said like an arm length gloves.
I dragged Aston in this because he was
Basically,
laughing at Thea. So
yeah,
I figured
basically
girl
opera
moment.
gloves.
Yep.
Give me a minute. Oh,
Take your time. So you
be happy we didn't
essentially
find the flamboyant one for you.
you haven't even gotten to the house, and you are on all day shopping afternoon. Elsbeth is just like, wee, this is wonderful. This is like the most glorious time you've had since you left.
Yeah, I get to be cleaned up. I get to. Also,
So
I
along
don't
with
stand
all
out
of this, because you all have become quite popular along the row,
here.
and they all know each other. They're all the little infighty, like, oh, I can't believe you used that cloth. Blah 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 blah. Which, Elsbeth, give me another persuasion.
Persuasion. 16.
You're kind of looking for a good spot for it. You're kind of floating along, and you hear a couple of comments about material things. You've been looking for the right spot to drop in that thing about the material that you have, which I don't remember. Was it silk?
Linen.
Linen.
Yeah, it was a high quality linen.
High quality linen. Okay.
Yes.
You haven't quite found the right spot. You're like, keep listening for that one part where it's like, no, I could totally sneak that in there. And you're like, you just haven't, there hasn't been a good spot for business goes here.
Yeah.
This has all been Makeover City.
Mm-hmm.
The only one who doesn't really get a makeover is Yadu. They're like, gorgeous.
Yes. Wouldn't change a thing. Because I don't want to get that close to you.
Oh shit. Sorry, I just remembered a detail. With all of the it's very rare that you see Aslan actually take his hood down. As all of this outfit is changing, it is long, like the hood gets pulled down and pulled out, and there's just long, bright red hair that just falls out from underneath the robe, like down to the small of his back that has been braided and tied in knots and detailed.
Ooh.
As I am going through and updating the model, what colors did you say again?
Oh,
Well,
purples and browns for
purples
the
and browns,
grave.
but now with red hair,
Yeah.
They wouldn't go there.
They wouldn't. They
No.
would clash horribly.
I would think more of a green and brown.
Yeah, jadish green.
Yeah.
Bring out your ginger.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be part of the outfit.
Well, that explains why he's so grumpy all the time.
I have no soul to take. All right, you said there's browns in there as well.
Yeah, the browns were the accent color. The primary color would have been the purple that's now turned to green.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually seen you with the hood down, so I wouldn't have known to
Yeah, that is
advise
correct.
them on the red hair until they pulled your hood down to get a good look.
Especially with the giant unidread.
It is
Unidread.
I am trying to go through here and update this. There was nothing with a mask
Mycelial
in it, correct?
mohawk.
Now, I wish I could have seen what Belgar would have looked like in one of these outfits.
oh,
Oh, you know he would have thrived. He would have been like, "Oh yes,
Oh
he's
yes,
like,
absolutely.
that would have been your best buddy there."
110% would have rocked out whatever they had going on,
Yep.
and
Alright,
made some choices to add to it.
Oh yeah.
So, you spend essentially the rest of the day. Eventually, you're like, getting kind of hungry. There is a little cafe at the end. They recommend you get seats. You can get something to eat, which just seems to disgust Tordan more when he gets back. He's like, "Are you ever going to go to your house?"
This took a little longer than anticipated. I apologize.
And we
Gorgeous.
still have yet to crush any gems.
We'll do that later. We need the information now, but
So-
the actual act of it can happen later.
As you're finishing up, it's dark out at this point, and you start to realize as you're headed back across the party district, you start to realize why it's called that. You are essentially skirting your way through like a constant nightclub zone. Street party, lights, colored lanterns hanging across different things. It's all shining off the water.
Now this is very different from what I used to. I don't think Tricall cuts this loose.
No, this party zone, and this is like a Tuesday, right? You're like,
A normal day is Mardi Gras.
If it gets to be a really big party, so actually, Tordan's telling you about it. He's like, look, if it gets to be a really big party, you want to work your way towards the middle to a place called the Bowl. Well, maybe you don't want to go to the Bowl, but I do.
And what do you find at the bowl?
It's literally, imagine the modern equivalent would be like a soap suds party in a tub.
Oh.
Only bigger than a mosh pit. Like
a mosh war zone.
Yes.
Human soup.
A mosh tub.
Yes, it's a huge,
Mosh tub.
essentially it's a huge mosh tub. Water at the bottom, right down in front of a big performer stage. All kinds of crazy happens there, apparently. There are buildings around it, up high, with balconies and overlooks, and it's apparently it's quite the thing. But we do need to get you to your actual residence.
Yes.
Yes. This was an unexpected detour.
In this little nightclub-ish scene, what are the citizens kind of, do we see what they're just kind of ingesting? What are their party favors
Um,
to keep this vibe going?
it's honestly, it is pretty standard drink stuff from what you see out and about. There's nothing, I mean, there's nothing extraordinary that you're kind of seeing on the street. You know, there are clubs if you wanted to go into places. There are various drinking establishments. Um, actually, the um, Tordan's like, you know, really, if you wanted to eat something, we could have just gone to the float by. And he points as you're working your way through. He points off to one side, and you see, like at the corner of this little corner of this canal, there's a little shack with a conch shell hanging off the side, and boats are literally like floating up to the side. They're handing things out the window for people to eat, and they keep it's essentially the gondola drive-through.
Huh.
Nice.
Well, I mean, how long have we? When was the last time we ate? Are we needing dinner?
Oh,
At
you
this
ate dinner
point?
at the cafe in
Yeah, that
cafe
the
was dinner.
cafe.
Oh,
in
okay.
Rainbow Row. Yeah, yeah. You're probably
Okay.
still hungry because you know it was this big and it was.
Yeah, it's confectionery, time
Yeah,
passing food.
Can we get some actual food?
Drive through.
Let's get to the house.
That's true. Yes,
At
house.
this stage, I
But
didn't
we're
even
on
trust
the
to go.
boat. We're on. Don't we? Aren't we on the boat again? So like, aren't we?
No, you
Oh.
are basically taking all of the paths to avoid the canal. You're walking over little bridges. You're hopping across from one side of little waterways to the other. But you have found the way. He has been leading you in a way that you haven't actually had to take a boat. Now, conceivably, you could have gotten there faster with a boat, maybe,
I don't mind not getting in the water.
but you do notice that the boats that are kind of cruising up and down through here, they're pulling them along at a pretty good clip, and there's a whole lot of cross traffic and people going all sorts of different ways, even at this late hour, as it's starting to get dark.
Let's just get back to the house, see what the situation is there.
Perception for everybody.
Ooh,
Oh,
23.
19.
too busy fucking around with this really, really gauche attire.
Not gauche, I'll
Feeling
tell you that.
fancy.
I rolled a 2, and you said for perception?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually one of my betters. So 9 in total.
8.
13.
19.
All right. Dundon, you realize as Azathan is bitching about his outfit again, you look around and you're like, dude, we fit in. Nobody's wearing armor. Nobody's armored. Nobody's heavily armed. These are all party people. This is not Adventure City. You fit right in. Thea,
Ooh.
on the other hand, you're like, you've got your eye, you're because you're still thinking that this kid is gonna take your pay and bolt or something.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're looking around, you are the only one who actually notices one of the guard patrols. And as soon as you notice them, you're like, oh, there they are. They are the ones who are armed and armored. But they're not the sort of guard patrol that you've traditionally seen in much more landlocked sort of places. It's essentially a patrol is a group of 5 of them. 2 of them have big tall pole arms. One with a hammer and a spike, and the other one with a hook.
They deal with boats.
So they can hook and spike your boat. one of them or two of them have nets and short swords, and then one of them, who looks an awful lot like the leader, has a crossbow. So
That is a really good setup.
Yeah.
they are absolutely not obtrusive. If you didn't have that moment where you were like, need to look around, you might have missed them, because they just kind of hang back. And then as the further you walk at all these various little places, you're hopping over bridges and stuff, you notice that there are a couple of places where there are little, like a corner of an alley, that there's nothing going on. You see a group of them just sort of hanging out of the way. So they're there, but they're super unobtrusive.
Now, are they noticing our group any as we're doing our travels?
No, not even a
We
little.
blend in.
We
You
fit in
blend
now,
in.
huh?
You dress like the locals. They don't even bat an eye.
I suppose low
Um,
profile is important.
You eventually get back across to a little residential area at the end of the Dosaduro district. And let me do this again. Da, 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 da.
Da, 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 da.
So you come up over a little bridge. There are a number of other houses in the area. You come around the corner, and this one right here is going to be the place where you live. 2 floors above the canal level. So this is a paver area here. Essentially all of this out here,
Water.
this is all water. This is all water. You get the idea. There's
Yeah.
actually more of that, more water back here. You're on a little, essentially end of an island.
Okay.
Peninsula, I should say, not really an island, it's a piece of a
Yeah.
peninsula. You have one door and one window at street level. The door is closed and locked, and there does seem to be something stuck to the front of the door.
Lovely. Back taxes.
As soon as you say it, it makes perfect sense. And it does look like a Lithian symbol, like wax pasted onto it.
Awesome.
So we were gifted responsibility for some place that is behind on payments.
Nobody's been here to pay.
That
Exactly.
rat bastard.
Well, we did basically level his town.
We didn't do that much damage.
First off, no, we did not.
We killed. We killed.
We
2
destroyed
people of
the inn.
temple.
We torched the church.
Well, first off, the church with the inn, that's bad business attacking your guests in the middle of the night. You
All right.
are liable to have cranky folks. That's not us.
Okay,
Frankie?
while they're
Now,
having this
sure.
argument, I'm looking over
I'm-
the paperwork.
Yeah.
You pull the paperwork down off the door. As soon as you do, give me a what's a magical perception?
Arcana.
Arcana.
What?
Crap.
Arcana.
There you go.
I had to
Knowledge
touch it.
Arcana.
Guess what you didn't do? Check for traps.
Wow.
Damn. That was brilliant.
Boo.
Only a 12, unfortunately. I rolled bad.
Nothing like getting called out.
It is straight up. You pluck it, and you immediately you have that moment. And you go, son of a bitch, because you see the little. There's almost like a little glamour or a little glitter that goes, whoop, and you're like, oh. if it were some kind of award and you're really not sure, it's more like a, hey, someone plucked the notice off the door.
Yeah, it's a
kind of
read
award.
receipt.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew instantly what it was.
You just set off the read receipt. So the notice is from Sante Bertini, who is the local tax collector, and this property has to come up with payment within the next week, or it will be auctioned off.
Oh,
How
pay the man.
big of a payment?
How much?
You owe 300 gold in back taxes.
300.
All right.
So
How much detail? How much legalese and detail? I know how to read this shit.
Oh,
I'm digging into this.
It's pretty straightforward, and it's pretty clear. It's like, nah, this is what it is. All you got to do is pay it. And as you're standing there reading it, you hear a patrol coming around the corner.
Pay the man.
Hey, man,
The
Percy.
sooner we
Keep
get rid
this
of
in
him, the
my
better off
memory,
we'll be.
and he will be returning to that town for some few choice words.
You're going back
Or
to
300
shake
bucks
him down for his tax money.
I was gonna say, or 300 gold pieces worth of retribution.
Oh no, for the trouble, you're at least doubling that, maybe
Ooh.
quadrupling.
Punitive damage. I like it.
Yes.
For
With
God's
interest.
Oh yeah.
Pain and
Nothing worse
suffering.
than a fishmonger's wife scorned.
Test me. I'll stab you with a needle. See how well it treats you.
I'm still gonna giggle every
The
time I
best
look
part
at
is
the.
I don't even think we're inside the door, so we're still just bickering outside.
Yeah, we're bickering
Yeah,
outside.
you are. I was trying to be a responsible one and figure out how bad this situation was.
I was gonna get there
So that
after we
patrol
resolved the other
comes up to a
discussion.
bickering group.
Give us a minute. We're having a very important discussion. No, fuck that guy.
Basically, you see the patrol gets there, and the guy in charge is just kind of crosses his arm and shaking his head.
Hello, nice to meet you. Give us just a minute.
Good evening, sir.
Are you the new owners?
Yes, we've just come into town.
You could say
I'll pull out the paperwork. Yes, according to this, we are.
If I may.
Hand over the paperwork.
great.
The former owner's a bit of a bastard. He didn't tell us about the back taxes.
They never do.
Yeah.
So,
What are you gonna do?
Excellent
We're
response.
going to
If
do
you
a
get a
lot,
response to me
Dungeon.
plucking this, excellent response time.
Well, this particular neighborhood does pay a little extra for that. This is a very safe place. It's a
I
very
can appreciate
calm
that.
place.
I would like to insight check him as he's saying this because there's either, yeah, they
Absolutely.
pay high in taxes or there's a protection racket going on.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Roll that with advantage. I'm assisting you on that one.
I was gonna say Thea caught that
Oh.
one too when it was wanting to do checks on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the insight, that is a 23.
He leans in to you specifically and says, "We don't like it if folks make a ruckus around here. This is a quiet neighborhood, and it
I
should
see.
stay that way."
You're
Tilts his head over at Yato and says, "Quiet, calm, no dead people, right?"
Excellent.
You won't find any dead people near us.
Birds don't shit in
Thea,
their own
shush.
nest.
We appreciate that. Good to know we're moving into a quiet neighborhood.
Excellent to hear. Now, I'll give you some time to get your things in order, but do know that if you go down around the corner and he gives you vague directions that are about 2 or 3 streets over, that's where their little hut is.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
the tax
are you-
collector will be happy to see you. He's usually in sometime between breakfast and lunch.
Very well.
Okay.
So, welcome. And they move off on another patrol. They actually have a light with them, and as it's getting dark out now. But as you
Now
look
the outfits
around,
that they're wearing,
what's that?
are those outfits easily replicable that they're
Oh,
wearing?
no.
Oh, they are dressed in a very particular manner. So give me a perception on that.
It's the N 19 plus 6, 25.
Okay, so as you're doing it, you're like, huh. They have their boots are oiled. You can tell, like they're waterproof, and they have tight tie-offs at the top, but no tassels, nothing really hanging out that could get caught on stuff. Underneath, they have like an official like uniform tabard kind of thing. Underneath that is definitely armor. You're pretty sure it's hardened leather, not just like soft stuff, like hardened leather. And they have a big city insignia on the front, and it's tied off with a sash. And interestingly, you're like, huh, because the sash goes around them twice, and it has this oddly shaped metal buckle that you don't quite get. You're like, I don't quite get it. That goes, and they have essentially a very similar armament style to any of the other guard patrols. One with a boat hook, one with a boat holer. That
Okay.
seems to be pretty standard.
Okay.
So they do note, Yadu, you do have your pole arm with you still, yes?
I'm using it as a walking stick, yes.
Yes, they do note that on the way by, and you get the one guy who has the boat holer gives you a nod on the way by.
He gets my best 1,000-yard.
Because the things that they have, as you look at their weapons, they're not like a lot of times you'll see guardsmen that sort of like, yeah, okay, it's a weapon, it's not top quality or whatever. These guys' weapons are in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And they look like they've been used and worn.
And well maintained, or they wouldn't be in the shape they're in, right?
Exactly. They know what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's no place quite like home, huh? Let's
Yeah.
push the door open.
Don't forget, the second page of your notes was the instruction about how to go about tapping
Yes.
entry
yes.
sequence.
I was about to
Thank
say,
you.
I stop you before you go in and say, remember, there's a code.
Right. I will open up because I assume I got the paperwork back from them.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that back, and I will go over the instructions, and it was what, knock 3-4 times, something like that.
It's a pattern.
I will.
hit-
Yeah, I
Something to
will.
do
I
with
will do the
twerking.
pattern.
You hit the pattern, you open it up. It does smell a little musty.
Mhm.
Well, not to you. You're like, home.
Yeah, this is
There's
great.
mold.
Excellent.
Everyone
I
else
actually
goes,
needed that.
what?
Don't worry, I'll fix that in a bit.
Yeah, we'll have to clean this out a bit.
The Pied Piper of mold.
Come
So-
to me, my spores.
Entry area, stairs up to the left-hand side.
Mhm.
There's a door along the back edge of the stair that you could get into. Behind that is the kitchen area. To the right, essentially, is like a living / dining area. There's a table there. There's a fireplace with the chimney that goes up the one wall. The doors to the back, essentially the other 3 houses and yours, form this little quasi courtyard with a fire pit out back. It looks like a cozy place to sit out and chit chat with the neighbors.
Huh.
upstairs, at the top of the stairs, there's a landing and it's not really a corridor, but the open area. There are 2 bedrooms to the right and 1 straight ahead, so it's a total of 3 bedrooms on the 2nd floor. And then I'm going to presume you're headed to the basement as well through the little door at the side of the stairs.
I certainly am,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm mostly interested in figuring out why cooking in Cooking Pit has quotes around it.
So as you come down to the lower level, there's a large open area. There's a small storage room. The dotted line through the middle here is essentially the support. These are archways that support the rest of the house. And there is a quote unquote cooking pit down there, essentially an indoor fire pit thing, but you don't see any chimney, so you're not sure exactly what might or might not have been going on there. And then a clear work area, and this rectangle is the stone support for stuff above.
I like it down here.
Hmm.
Reminds me of home.
Any sign of if we get, say, major water or major rain, any indicators of potential flooding problems or leaking in?
Tell us about the architectural details of this house, Eric.
Only
don't
you
see
would
any-
put in a support beam.
And
You
while we
don't-
have those architectural details, is there any pieces, like any hideaways or anything?
You got a storage closet downstairs.
That's it.
Okay.
You literally, what you see is what you get. There's no, you immediately, you're like, nah, these walls are way too thin to be hiding anything. So as far as the wetness goes, everything in Lithia is damp at some point.
Yes.
But there's no overt, like, there's no like dirty line that says, oh, water comes up to here.
Okay.
I know how to fix that water problem.
So it actually does look indeed like this is a relatively nice
You-
little place in a relatively nice little neighborhood that's sort of quiet and out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
With plenty of space for you to settle in. Not a lot in the way of furniture, but it's a place. And you
Yep.
know the code to open the door.
Going to the kitchen.
A coded door is wonderful.
Basically, the kitchen is basically empty.
Oh,
Figures
so
much.
so we all reconvene, I imagine, in the first floor. Okay.
Is
Seems like a
Tordan
nice
with
enough
us?
place.
Tordan actually, if you didn't have anything else for him, once you got to the door and he saw the guard patrol coming, he took off.
That's fine.
That's fine.
He
He
knows
made
where to
himself
find
quite
us.
scarce as soon as you plucked the thing off the door. He's like, oop, see you tomorrow. Bye.
That's fine. He knows where to find us.
What's up?
He said he said he knows where to find us. It's not something too terribly worried about.
Believe it or not, that brings us almost to 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a wonderful 9 o'clock it was.
Indeed.
That was fun.
Yeah.
9 of the clock.
I'm actually really, really glad that you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Doesn't all have to be murder hobo work. We can go
No.
in for haute couture.
Yeah. Gonna go. We have our like contract mandated beach episode and the spa episode.
Oh,
and
hot
the
springs.
You have
We
the
gotta
hot
do a hot
springs
springs episode.
We have several shopping montage episodes, and then the filler episodes that are mostly just other people getting up to shit.
Oh, wait, we have to have the curry episode right before that episode.
Okay, well, hang on. If we're having a hot spring episode, which male in the group is going to be the degenerate?
I thought we already had a hot spring
Yeah, the
episode.
hot springs. That's
In
our
the hot
hoping.
springs.
No, it would have been a hot spring episode if someone hadn't insisted on keeping mushrooms in the water.
Oh no, the mushrooms were staying. You are the one with the problem. I thought it was fine. It's not like it was even a sanitation issue because they were specifically there to hold water.
I was
think
fine with
that's-
it.
I think that's a great spot. We are going to hold water.